How much protein? I'm 45 years old. Break it down.
Your need for protein does go up as you get older because we lose muscle mass as we get older.
What is whey protein?
The reason why whey powder is really popular is because it is...
Are there different types of whey?
There are. The better way to have is whey. I used to think eggs were dairy, but when I looked it up, eggs are not classed as dairy.
That's a revelation.
Yeah.
Every single week you do this. Do you really need to eat protein 3 times a day?
I would say...
Welcome to No Appointment Necessary. My name is Cherry Healy.
And I'm Dr. Amir Khan. I'm usually up at my surgery in Bradford, but once a week I come down here to record this podcast, No Appointment Necessary.
So, if you're watching on YouTube, we would love you to subscribe. If you're watching on Spotify or listening on Apple, please give us a follow. And also, if you could leave a review, it's really helpful. It helps us grow. And also, we just really love to hear from you.
Yeah, but only if it's a good review. Otherwise, the bad reviews, keep them to
leave
yourself.
Leave that out.
But also, if you haven't already... join our Facebook community group. We've got like over 25,000 people, which is amazing. And we love your comments. We want to know what you want us to cover because this is your podcast as much as ours. And we want to make it feel like a community.
So today we're talking all things protein. And because it's such a massive subject, we're going to focus on whey protein, which is a huge topic at the moment. What is whey protein?
I think perhaps we should take a step back and say, what is protein, first of all? Because that is such a widely used term and lots of people think they know it, they may not know it. So protein is a macronutrient. It's one of our core macronutrients alongside fats and carbohydrates. And it's made up of building blocks called amino acids. Now, think of protein almost like a model made up of Lego bricks. And each one of those bricks is an amino acid. And your body can make different models or different proteins depending on which bricks it uses for that particular model. So proteins are used for lots of things. Everybody kind of knows that it's used for muscle repair and muscle growth, but it's also used in hormones, enzymes, our skin, our hair, inside of our blood vessels, our white blood cells, our red blood cells. Protein is a really important thing. Now, the key thing about amino acids is there are 20 amino acids in total. 9 of them are called essential amino acids, and they are amino acids that our body cannot make itself. 11 of them are non-essential, so our body can make them themselves. But those 9 essential amino acids are the things that we need to get from our diet. And foods that contain all 9 amino acids are called complete proteins. And if they don't contain all 9 amino acids, then they're incomplete proteins.
Can we have a little list of complete proteins quickly?
Yeah. So complete proteins, most animal sources of protein are complete protein. So meat, chicken, fish, all of those things are complete proteins. But there are some plant sources of complete proteins that contain all 9 amino acids as well.
You're going to say legumes.
I'm not going to say legumes.
Oh my God, you're not going to say
beans. It breaks my heart because legumes are incomplete protein.
I can hear him crying right now.
I know, but I'm going to come back to that.
Come back to beans.
So complete plant sources are soy, quinoa is a really good one, chia seeds and hemp seeds, all are complete proteins.
I'm surprised that quinoa is a protein at all. I thought it was a carb.
Yeah, but it contains protein as well. So a lot of these foods, because when you think protein, you always think meat, fish, chicken, and it's all protein. But there's loads of other nutrients in those things as well. It's the same with plant sources. Now, incomplete proteins are things like legumes, it breaks my heart. Nuts and seeds are incomplete proteins as well. So the thing about social media is they will say, well, you should only be eating complete proteins because that's what your body needs. No, our body is so intelligent. You can eat, the key is eating a variety of types of proteins. So if you eat incomplete proteins, but you're eating a variety of them, each one will have a different combination of those essential amino acids. So your body will pool it and store it and knead it and make it up when it needs to.
Our body's almost like a factory and you put all these different resources into it. It decides where it goes.
Exactly.
A bit like with the collagen, you ingest collagen and your body decides what happens to that. It doesn't necessarily go to your skin and your hair. Is it the same with protein?
It's exactly the same. So it will break that protein down into its component amino acids and then it will build it back up to whatever it needs. Now, you can combine foods and make incomplete proteins into complete proteins. And this is where I think humans have been amazing because, yes, we now know about incomplete proteins and combining food to make them complete. But if you look at the food combinations, there are actually things that have gone on for thousands of years. So it just makes you think, have we kind of not known about the amino acids, but really have we known about this combination and it feels right to our bodies?
It's almost like instinctive eating.
Yes.
I mean, when I was pregnant with my 2 children, I knew what I needed, and it was such a powerful craving. I had such a newfound respect for my body.
Yes.
I thought, oh, you actually know what I need. I need to listen to you.
Yeah.
Is it a bit like that?
So I don't know 100%
Sometimes it tells
for
us
sure.
we need things we
Yes,
don't need.
That's
okay,
true.
just disclaimer. But sometimes it's like I need broccoli.
Well, that's it. So if you look at like things that have been historically eaten together, so rice and beans is a combination that join food up to make complete proteins. And people have been eating that for centuries, right?
Yes.
It's the same in the South Asian culture. Lentils and rice is another combination that combines incomplete proteins and make complete. And then hummus and wholemeal bread as well. So it's really interesting, right?
We're not known for our cuisine. What is our complete protein
In
combo?
the UK.
What is our clever combo?
I think it's just like pork, right? And a roast or something like that.
Potatoes just thrown at you.
Well, with a roast, you've got the chicken. That's a complete protein already, right? And it's the same with a ham and all of that.
It's not so much that we've got this like clever protein combo.
No.
Just got meat.
I think that's it.
Well done, UK. Well done.
But I think
Sausage.
it's fascinating. So when you see on social media, you've got to be eating complete proteins, and these incomplete proteins are nonsense. That is one of those hypey things. No, you need a variety of proteins throughout the day, spread throughout the day. And social media, protein's having a moment, right? It's having a moment. Everybody's like,
Protein's
eat protein.
a bully. Protein is a bully. I've got a friend said to me,
A bully.
She said I've been under more pressure to eat protein in my 40s than I was to take Class A drugs when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Honestly, every social media thing is like, eat protein. And then there's like a picture of a beautiful person like just gnawing down on a piece of chicken, right? Now,
And there's so many things on Instagram at the moment about women just in their beds going, I'd love to come out, but I need to hit my protein target.
Oh my God.
It's not just having a moment.
as with a lot of social media trends, there's some science behind it, and then there's some bakwas behind it. So it's my favourite word. It's the Urdu word for BS.
I'm always excited to talk about bakwas.
So the science is, yes, we need to eat protein and we need it for muscle repair. The other things they say is that it keeps you fuller for longer. That's absolutely true. And the other thing that comes out on social media is that protein has something called a higher thermogenic effect than carbohydrates. That means digesting protein burns more calories than digesting carbohydrates. So this kind of fullness and weight loss effect it can have, there is some truth in that.
So protein is a very efficient food to eat. You stay fuller for longer.
Yeah.
And you're burning
More calories than if you were eating carbohydrates.
And why is that?
It's just the energy needed to digest a protein and break it apart and absorb it is more so than a carbohydrate. So you burn more energy. Now, where the bakwas comes in...
Here we go. Ready? Buckle up.
It's this idea that you need to have loads and loads of protein every single day. Just like that's what you need to focus on. Yeah, you should make protein a priority in every single meal that you have. But the levels of protein that they're suggesting is probably more than you need. So an average person who isn't doing a massive amount of exercise, just a normal everyday person, the recommendation is 0.8 grams per kilo. But actually, it's probably better to get between 1 gram and 1.2 grams per kilo of weight that you are.
Please, can you say that in a way that people will understand if they don't get maths?
Right. So if you weigh 70 kilos, you should be getting 70 grams of protein a day. But per meal, you should be aiming for about 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal. You're going to ask me what that looks like.
There's still numbers in that, my friend. All right? I can see you. Right? Okay, so let's break this down. I weigh 54 kilograms.
Right. But you exercise,
I'm 5'5".
right?
I exercise, but I'm not crazy exercise, but I go to the gym for half an hour most mornings.
Yeah.
How much protein? I'm 45 years old. break it down.
You are a typical kind of 45-year-old lady who looks after herself and wants to eat the right amount of protein, right? If you're exercising regularly, particularly resistance training where you need it for your muscle repair after resistant training, you probably need to go from 1.2 grams per kilo to about 1.5 grams per kilo. So that for you will be, let me do the maths here, about 80 grams of protein per day.
Right, 80 grams of protein per day. What does that look like in normal land?
Right. So what it shouldn't look like is stuffing your face with protein straight after the gym and saying, right, I've had my protein for the day and that's that.
Right.
It should look like eating protein as part of every meal. So in the morning, you could have a bowl of natural Greek yogurt with some seeds in there, like chia seeds. Remember, it's a complete protein. You've got the plant-based, you've got the animal-based protein there as well, and you can top that with any berries and all of that kind of thing. If you want to, you could add a bit of protein powder to that as well to top it up.
In case you don't get a chance to eat so much protein later on.
Exactly. For lunch, you could eat some chicken and some broccoli and some rice. Perfect. Same with fish. Just a fist-sized portion of chicken or fish or something like that. Remember, with that plate of food that you have, half of it should be fibre. A good portion of that, about a quarter or a third, should be protein, and then you've got your healthy fats and whole grains as well. And it's the same thing in the evening time.
Right.
So it's about spreading protein out through the day rather than kind of going, oh, I need the protein powder, I need my protein bar, and I need my whey this and all of that kind of thing. It's about spreading it out through the day. That's the key thing.
Do you really need to eat protein 3 times a day?
Yes, I would say yes. Every meal should be built around fibre and protein. So you absolutely should. Your need for protein does go up as you get older because we lose muscle mass as we get older. We're less efficient at digesting and absorbing protein as we get older as well.
True?
Yeah. Everything gets less efficient as we get older, and digestion of protein is one of those things.
Oh, I'm brilliant.
And then we do want to focus on being leaner because things like the menopause, when it hits women, they tend to store fat around their tummy more because that's the effect of depleting estrogen. That can make you less sensitive to insulin. And the leaner you are and the more muscle mass you have, the better your insulin will work as well. So there's lots of reasons to increase your protein intake as you get older. There's all sorts of figures thrown around, but about 1.5 grams per kilo still remains right for someone of your age who is doing exercise.
What happens to you physically if you don't get enough protein?
So again, this is a bit of a social media thing where they're telling us we're deficient in protein. Generally, people in the West are not deficient in protein, where to the point you get the muscle wasting and the nerve damage that real protein deficiency and starvation looks like. But are we getting enough protein to maintain ourselves as we get older? And that is where the question really should be. And protein deficiency, it's more about playing the long game. It's making sure you have adequate protein to get your muscles up, to get your immune system sorted, to get your red blood cells, all your hormones and enzymes as you get older, to reduce your risk of falls, to reduce your risk of osteoporosis, to improve your balance. All of those things are important. So over time, if you're not eating enough protein, it can make you frail and at risk of fractures and falls. That's the main issue.
You mentioned protein powder. That is so popular. I mean, I feel like companies put protein in almost everything these days. I'm waiting for protein shampoo.
I think it exists, right?
No, it does.
I'm sure it does.
Can you talk us through the different types of protein powders? There's quite a few different varieties.
Yeah, the most common protein powder that's been studied is whey protein powder.
What is whey protein?
Okay, so whey protein comes from milk. So milk, in terms of protein, is 80% a protein called casein and 20% whey protein. Now, they are both proteins. The reason why whey powder is really popular is because it is easily and quickly absorbed into your body and used. So those people who go to the gym or need a quick hit of protein, whey powder is really, really good. Casein is also protein, but it's slowly absorbed. So more of a longer game in terms of protein absorption. Now, when we turn milk into cheese, it splits into curds and whey, isn't it? The curds is the casein. What happens to that when you're making cheese is that liquid gets sent away, dried off, turned into whey powder. That is exactly what whey powder is. It's the protein from that. It's also that, when you have a yogurt
yes,
and you eat half of it, and then you put the rest in the fridge, and then you open it up the next day and there's water in there that you want to chuck down the sink. That is whey. Mix it in. Do not throw that down the sink. That is like liquid gold. It is like protein.
You're chucking that away and then buying your protein powder.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there different types of whey?
There are. So the cheapest whey is something called whey concentrate. And that isn't absorbed as well, but it also generally has more carbohydrates and fat in it. The better whey to have is whey isolate. It has less of that additional stuff in, and it is much easier to absorb and quicker to absorb. So if you're looking at whey powders, look for whey isolate and look at the sugar content in there, making sure that's quite low, because it is a processed food. That whey powder, it has been changed from its original source. Have additives been added in? You need to keep looking at that. So look at how much sugar there is. Are there any kind of emulsifiers or anything that's put in there to make it last longer? The less of that stuff there is, the better that powder is going to be for you. I always think of protein powders as a convenience food. Right. So it's not that they're bad for you. They're not. But they shouldn't replace food. And what they're quite good for, I suppose, is, yes, for gym bros and sisters. It's also good for people who find it hard to include protein in every meal. So you could add it to a smoothie or a yogurt because you feel like, I'm a busy person, I've not got time to make that plate of food that need be.
I do get that. So if I'm filming, you can't always choose what food you're getting. You might just have an option of a sandwich, and you'll need to get on to the next thing. I absolutely go through whole days where I know I'm not eating enough protein. You get the train home, and that's when I really appreciate something like a protein shake.
Yeah.
That's to top it up.
So what I would say, if you are taking protein powder, whey protein powder isolate is good after the gym, after exercise, on your food. Casein is probably better for you overnight. So maybe that's the last thing you take. Because it's slowly absorbed, you can absorb it overnight and your protein levels are hit while you sleep as well. So that's how I would divide the two up.
So if you really want to build muscle and you want to get stronger, should you up your protein intake, and what's the best way to do that?
Yes, there is some truth in that, because the more protein you take in, the more likely your body is to break that down, sort out all its other protein needs, and then give it to your muscles as well. Because remember, just because you're taking in protein doesn't mean your body's definitely going to put that protein into your muscle. But if you're taking in adequate amounts of protein and in excess of, then your body will go, right, I've sorted all the other stuff out, and we can build muscle back up.
So it's not a myth that if you want to build muscle, you've got to focus on eating enough protein.
Yes.
That's true.
That's true. Yes, absolutely true. Alongside the resistance training, of course. And then, because if you're growing muscle, which is essentially protein, you need protein to grow that muscle. Yeah. And your body needs to prioritize that. And it can only prioritize that if it's sorted the rest of the house out.
Does it matter what kind of protein that you ingest? Does one make muscle quicker than the other? Like, you've got protein bars, protein shakes, protein powders, or is it better just to take an egg to the gym?
When people compare food and protein isolates like powders, I'm not a big fan of bars, because often they're sweetened and they have chocolate in them and all sorts of
Are they
additives.
really a snack bar?
I know. I feel like they're more of a chocolate candy bar than a protein bar. Not all of them, to be fair. Right. But powder is, you're more likely to get, more benefit from the powder than you are a bar or a cookie. I do love a cookie, though.
I do too. I actually really love a protein bar. I'm going to say this right now.
Delicious.
And I feel like if I'm going to eat something like that, then if it's got a bit of protein in it.
I know, but it is an ultra-processed food.
I know, but they're so yummy.
They are so yummy. So in terms of, let's say, a protein powdered shake compared to an egg or a chicken fillet or a piece of fish, it's not that one is better than the other. It just depends what you want out of it. Because with all the food stuff, you've got all the other nutrients that come alongside it. So the vitamins and the minerals and the fibre. I would always say opt for food and then top up your protein intake or need through powder.
Right. How does whey protein compare with all the other different proteins available? Because there's pea protein.
Yeah, soya
protein.
Yeah. So The thing about whey protein is it's the most studied one. So we have lots of evidence that it does work, and we know the types that do get absorbed best. And it is a complete protein as well, because it comes from an animal source, dairy. Soy protein is also good. It is a complete protein, but whey protein contains something called leucine. It's a type of amino acid, one of the amino acids that we know helps build muscle. Now, to get the same level of leucine in soy or pea, which is becoming more common, you do need to take more of it. So not significantly more, but more so. Other forms of protein that people do get are hemp protein as well. That is very nutritious. Hemp seeds are very nutritious, but they're not as protein dense as soy, pea, and certainly not whey or casein. And then egg white protein is the other big one, and that's a really good source. That is a complete protein, and it's dairy free. I know.
Hang on.
Eggs are. I know this is a debate, but eggs are not dairy. They come from a farm, but dairy is like milk and cheese and that kind of thing. So eggs are dairy free, and by that they don't contain lactose. So people who are lactose intolerant in terms of whey and casein might want to eat eggs. Why are you looking at that? I looked this up because I used to think eggs were dairy, but when I looked it up, eggs are not classed as dairy, and that was my face when I found out as well.
That's a revelation.
Yeah.
Every single week you do this. And every week I think, you can't tell me. I know loads about protein. You won't be able to tell me anything.
Eggs are not
shocks
dairy.
me.
I'm going to double check that live. I'm going to double check it. I am right. Eggs are not dairy. It's one of the most common food confusions. They often get grouped together and they often get sold together.
So eggs are not dairy.
Eggs are not dairy.
That's extraordinary. So can you eat them if you're vegan? No, because they come from an animal.
They do come from an animal, but dairy is something that comes from the milk of a mammal. So
right.
Cows, humans.
How fascinating. So eggs are a really good source of protein.
Egg whites.
Egg whites are a really good source of protein. So you can get egg white powder.
You can, yeah.
And that's a really good one.
That's a really good one.
Is that as good as whey?
Not as easily as absorbed as whey. Whey, again, is just so good at a quick absorption, a quick hit of protein. But if you are lactose intolerant, or if whey gives you an upset stomach, then egg white protein is a good alternative. But then so is soy, if you want to go plant-based, like me.
Can you ever have too much protein?
Not really. People worry about too much protein and kidney function. You often associate those two things together. Generally speaking, the studies show that people who have otherwise healthy kidneys can tolerate protein very well without it causing any major damage or long-term issues with their kidneys. The problem arises with those who have something called chronic kidney disease, which is a long-term kidney issue where the kidney isn't working as well. It's not filtering your blood as well. And high levels of protein can certainly make that worse. And then there's a problem. There's another stage of kidney disease where people are on dialysis. So that's end stage kidney failure. Actually, those people need more protein. And the reason for that is dialysis gets rid of protein. And so eating protein actually replaces some of the protein that dialysis loses. So kidneys are an interesting one. If you've got healthy kidneys, you don't need to worry about it too much. But if you haven't, you should be careful with protein and speak to a doctor.
But for most people who've got healthy kidneys, you can go wild with the protein.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing is stomach upset as well. If you're not taking all that protein with fibre and fluid, you will get cramps, you will get tummy upset because your body's just not used to all that protein, particularly if you do it really quickly. If you go, right, this is me, I'm starting now, I'm going to eat all this protein, I'm going to take all this powder, and your body's not used to it, and you haven't upped your fibre and water intake as well, then that can cause problems with your tum.
Will it stop you doing poos?
It can make you constipated, yeah.
Because you need the fibre to move everything through, don't you?
You need the fibre. Honestly, these people who do kind of like a high protein meat only diet, what are you doing? You need fibre.
They're not doing poos, that's for sure.
They're not doing poos. And they're doing smelly burps.
If someone in the gym is really trying to build muscle, if they focus too much on protein intake, protein powders, protein bars, chicken fillets, will they get unwell? Is that going to mess with their digestive system?
Very unlikely. Your body will just excrete what it doesn't need and it'll absorb what it does. If they're otherwise healthy, chances are, I mean, there's the potential for it to damage their kidneys, but our bodies are really good at just getting rid of things, so the chances are very slim.
Our bodies are cleverer than us, aren't they?
They are.
They kind of know more. They know a lot more than us. They're
Yes.
like, don't need this, ridiculous. Spent £4.50 on that stupid bar.
Yeah.
Poo it out. Get rid of it. What if you're vegan or vegetarian? How do you make sure you're getting enough protein if the best sources are from animals?
Well, it's not necessarily the best sources are from animals. The most complete sources are from animals. So you could, and I'm a vegetarian, so I try and get a variety of protein through the day. It doesn't matter whether I'm getting a complete protein with every meal. If I'm getting incomplete proteins, as long as there's a variety, my body will make. If one has 6 out of 9 and the other one has 3 out of 9 of those essential amino acids, but the combination will make a complete protein, it doesn't matter if I eat 5 for lunch and 2 for dinner, my body will store it and put it together.
Are you quite conscious of your protein intake as a vegetarian?
I am. And I think vegetarians and vegans in particular should be conscious of their protein intake, because you do need slightly higher levels of protein to get the equivalent of animals. But you can absolutely meet your protein intake through plant sources. That anyone who says otherwise it doesn't know anything about nutrition. So it's just about those varieties. So lentils, beans, chickpeas, yes, they're brilliant. They contain amino acids, but you need to combine them with things to make that complete.
If you've got a chicken fillet, how much quinoa would you have to eat for the equivalent protein?
Yeah, I think this is really important. So I have got it all here on my trusty laptop. Right. So a serving of chicken, a fillet of chicken, is about 100 to 120 grams in weight.
Right.
And that contains 25 to 30 grams of protein, which is about what you should be getting in each of your meal. Fish, white fish in particular, actually has more protein in than chicken per 100 grams. So you're looking at, 35 to 48 grams of protein. That's white fish. Oily fish is slightly lower. And then going down to eggs, 2 large eggs, 15 grams of protein. So that's pretty good. Let's go down a little bit more. A yogurt, so a normal yogurt serving is about 5 to 7 grams of protein. So good. That's not bad.
Not loads. I can see why you said to put protein powder potentially in your yogurt.
That's right. So now if we look at the plant-based ones, so lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans, about 120 grams, so about the same size portion of that, or in weight as that chicken, is 10 grams of protein. So that's, less than half of what that chicken has.
So if you've got a chicken fillet, you need twice the amount in quinoa or lentils in order to get your protein.
Yeah. So all of these things, tofu, soya, all of them contain protein, but per gram is less protein. So it's about increasing the amount that you eat to meet the same equivalent if you were getting it from an animal.
If someone's watching their calorie intake, how do they manage getting enough protein with not over-consuming calories?
Remember, a lot of these plant-based protein sources like peas and lentils and tofu are quite low in calories themselves, and they contain all that fibre that slow down the absorption of nutrients and food, and so that it keeps you fuller for longer, so you're not snacking in between. So there's all of that, but then you can top it up with your protein powder, your plant-based protein powder. And if you are vegan or vegetarian, like I am, soy is a really good one.
Milk has a lot of protein in it. It's a complete protein.
Yeah.
Do alternative milks like oat, like rice, do they have any protein in them?
Not really. And that's where they are inferior to cow's milk. They don't have that same level of protein in. But I guess most people don't get their protein from milk. It's very unusual to see adults drinking a whole glass of milk, right? Do you? No.
I don't know. If I love milk and cookies.
Oh, do you?
I actually can't eat cookies without milk.
I think cow's milk for children is really useful. Yeah. Most adults will just use milk in teas and coffees, right?
No, it's not normal.
An insignificant amount. But sometimes a glass of milk is exactly what you need, to be fair, sometimes.
I think it's a hangover from when I was pregnant. My body just craved it. Obviously, that I had a calcium deficiency of some sort. I don't know what was going on, but I really drank a lot, and I think it's just kind of stuck around. This is an excuse. I just really love milk. Leave me alone. I was at my boyfriend's house the other night. We'd had supper and we were watching TV, and I asked for a glass of milk.
What did
like,
say?
why? And I was like, because I have a cookie and I can't eat cookies without milk.
Did you give you it in a baby's bottle?
Yeah, I had a sucky bottle. It was really good.
Now, I know it's not in a sucky bottle, and I'm not going to feed you it, but look at that.
Look,
milk and cookies.
You see, I couldn't eat those without this. I'm not interested. It has to come with milk. Give me a cookie, give me milk.
Oh my God, I could eat a whole packet of cookies in one sitting.
Really?
Easy.
Is this a complete protein?
Well, yes, it is. Dairy is a complete protein. So, not so sure about the biscuit.
They're a complete protein.
Yeah.
Come on.
They're complete something.
When it comes to buying protein, there's so many different types. What should we go for? Because there's some that are really cheap and some that are really expensive.
Let's talk about whey protein in this, because that's the most common one. So when you're looking at whey protein, you want whey isolate rather than whey concentrate. That's got less lactose in it and it's more protein and it's easier to absorb. So isolate is what you should be looking for. Look at how much sugar there is as well. The less sugar, the better. Lots of protein powders use sugar alcohols as well as additives to keep these things on the shelf for longer. Try and get rid of that.
I don't know much about much, but that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And look at the testing as well, and because some of the backs of them will show you whether they've been tested themselves by that company or whether it's third-party testing, and that's not as accurate. So those are the kind of things to look for when you're buying your protein.
It kind of sounds like a pain in terms of research, but you just do it once, and then once you find a really good one that you love, you kind of stick with that. Yeah,
and I think the headline is whey isolate with less sugar. That's the key thing, or no sugar.
I think sometimes, from my experience, the cheaper they are, the more other stuff, the more other bits they've got in them. So actually, if you find a really good one that's pure that costs a bit more, it's worth it.
Yeah. What do you use?
Well, I've got this one that I actually got sent.
Oh.
And it's just this great big black tub.
Why are
the
they
problem
always
is,
like
why are they always
ginormous?
like that? Because I don't know where to put it. Like, I have to store it in the bottom of the cupboard, which means it's real like pain to use.
Yes.
But why are they all like black or green? Like, they're always really
They're really
massive.
macho, aren't
really
they?
Like macho.
They will build you
I
up, this
know.
massive black tub.
But
It's the most inconvenient thing.
Well, I keep it in my bottom cupboard at the back because I don't know where else to keep it because it's so massive. But it means I often forget to take it.
Yes.
But why do we need a tub of protein powder?
Well, because you need quite a lot, don't you, to get that 25 to 30 gram hit of protein. So they come with those giant scoops that you have to do it with. But it would be nice to have like a sexy protein powder that comes in a sexy tub that you can just leave.
There's a gap in the market. I could just have I have it on the side.
Yeah, sleek, sexy.
I don't think I need a tub. I just don't have it. I take my tub out and I put it in a Tupperware and then I take it with me filming.
Good idea. I get my soy protein in a massive tub. And again, it's the bottom shelf of a cupboard in the kitchen because it won't go anywhere else. And I do take it every single day. But as a vegetarian, I think for me, it's really important for me to top up my protein because I don't think I probably get enough at breakfast because I'm at home. I don't think I get enough at lunch because I'm at the surgery. Right. And then in the evening, sometimes I just go to my mum's and eat whatever she's made, and that's not often a complete protein. So I will just stop it up there. She lives on the way home.
Oh, I mean, can I come?
Any day. She actually loves you. So
I would love to eat a meal by Mama Khan. You know it's going to be amazing.
Just let me know when you're in our neck of the woods. Every day she has, like, you don't have to announce your arrival. She always has about 3 or 4 pots on her cooker of different food because people just come and go and no one leaves Mum's house. Maybe not without a complete protein, but without a complete meal, no one ever leaves.
Protein is really heavily marketed, especially if people are doing exercise. What's your take on that?
The bottom line for me is, yes, it's important, but no, we're not deficient in it in the way that the marketing people say. We are probably deficient in fibre and other nutrients, but not protein. So yes, take it. Yes, enjoy it, but don't go overboard.
No, don't have sleepless nights about your protein intake.
No, and don't go carnivore or ketogenic. No. You need the fibre.
You know, I did that in my 20s.
Oh, yeah.
I did the Atkins.
How was it?
Awful. I went grey.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed fruit. You're not even allowed vegetables.
That's nuts.
You know, there was one time, like a really pivotal moment in my life when I was sitting in a car park eating a packet of ham because I was going for dinner with someone. I was worried that they would cook something that wasn't protein enough. And I remember sitting in the car park with this packet of ham going, Something's all right.
Something's not right.
Something's-
Looking in the mirror and you're grey.
I was like, I think I've made some weird life choices.
Yeah.
And I gave it up then. Initially, I lost a bit of weight. Then it all came back on. I'm like sitting in a car park, I'm like, this, it was bad.
Nothing like that
It
is
was bad.
sustainable, right?
No, it turns out it's rubbish.
Yeah. Well, you need the protein, but
And
you also
also,
need the
your
fibre.
breath is really smelly.
Oh, God,
your
I
breath
remember.
Stinks, you go grey, and you're sitting in a car park eating ham. It's not a sexy look. That was everything you need to know about protein. Thank you so much. I'm ready.
Thank
I really
you.
want to go to the gym now and do
You're
like a
going to be my
workout.
gym sis.
I'm a gym sis now. Right, time for Chat GP. Right, Janice says, as a retired district nurse and keen follower of your dietary advice, I try to eat healthily and eat quite a lot of Asian type foods, particularly legumes
Yes.
and vegetables. My question is, I think legumes is our mascot animal, a mascot
Honestly.
vegetable.
Yeah,
Don't you
totally. Honestly, all for it.
I
all
think
for
so.
it.
My question is, why is there a problem amongst the South Asian community with diabetes and heart disease, given that their diet often includes a lot of vegetables? Such a good question. Is it the ghee used in cooking? How can everyone protect themselves and eat Asian foods healthily?
So,
interesting.
South Asian people are at increased risk of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease over Caucasian people. It's similar in Black African people as well, but South Asian people are slightly at higher risk. It's not necessarily the diet that's the thing. It's often genetics that plays a part. So we are more predisposed for storing fat around our tummy. So people who have this fat around their tummy generally have something called visceral fat as well, which is fat on the inside of your organs or over your organs. So it's a good indicator. That central obesity is a good indicator for fat on the inside of our organs. And that increases our risk as South Asians for insulin resistance and heart disease. Diet does come into it, and I'll be honest with you. I think portion size is a big problem in our community, and a lot of our social activities revolve around food because we don't. Well, a lot of Muslims don't drink alcohol, so going to the pub or something like that is fine. We do it. I do it all the time, but not everybody will go to drink alcohol. So food at home, and food is a love language, right? So if you're anything like my mum, you can't leave the house without 3 helpings of everything she's made, and it's that portion size, and we do have a carb heavy diet as well. There's always rice, there's always chapatis, there's always parathas alongside each thing. So all of those refined carbohydrates play into it too.
Delicious.
They're so delicious.
So excited.
Yes, the final aspect of that is also when we move over to Western society, we don't adopt your healthiest food. We adopt your burgers and your McDonald's and all of those kind of things. It's not like going, oh, you know what I'll make today is a nice chicken roast.
Right.
It's not. It's like
brown rice salad.
When my mum says we're having an English, it means we're having fish and chips, like deep fried. So all of those things combined is probably what adds up there.
I see. So actually, the food in of itself is really healthy and balanced and good whole foods, but portion control, keep an eye on that, and maybe like added oil. Is the ghee a problem?
Ghee is relatively healthy, to be fair. It's more the carbohydrates and the refined sugars that go into food, but genetics is the key thing. And I always say that to my South Asian patients. We can't fight our genetics, unfortunately, so we don't have any control over that, but you do have control over your food and your movement and your sleep, and that's where we need to focus.
So movement, portion control, making sure that other foods that you're eating aren't contributing to it.
Yes.
Fine.
And when you go out for an English, make it healthy.
Thank you so much, Janice, for that question. Really fascinating question. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on No Appointment Necessary, but we'd obviously love to hear from you. You can email us and the details are in the show notes. Comment on our Facebook page and just search No Appointment Necessary.
See you next week. And remember, no appointment necessary.